Hello everyone, my name is Bree and welcome to Document a Journey. Today I am just going to catch you up on what's been going on. In the background of the video I am going to show you a painting that I did last year. Yep, I said that right. It was last year. I filmed this footage. I made this into an original large piece and I just never shared it with anyone, the footage. I have prints and stickers of this illustration available on my website, but for some reason I just kept the footage to myself and I never shared it. So now you get to see it and I get to chat about what's been going on. During the time of me actually painting this, so not right now, but back then, it was probably in October maybe, my husband and I were dealing with something pretty big. He had lost his job, and so I was just trying to keep us afloat with my business, and it was pretty difficult. I tried really hard to come to each space that I'm in, so YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, and be present and authentic, but at the same time, like, I had a hard time because I didn't want to talk about what I was going through. And this is normal for me. I don't normally share hard things while I'm doing the hard things. I normally share the hard things after I've done the hard things, and then I feel like I can actually talk about them. And so here I am talking about it. But while I was painting this, he was looking for a part-time job, which come to find out is very difficult. If you're overqualified all the time is what we kept being told. And it was just really difficult. I poured myself into not only my work here, but then also into art markets and shows. And I tried to get into brick and mortar stores and on fair, trying to sell wholesale. It was a lot. It was really hard and it was exhausting. I don't mean to brush over this part of our life, right? That was pretty much our whole 2023. I'm not kidding. He lost his job right before Christmas of 2022, and then he did not find a job until that Christmas of 2023. And so when I say it was a lot and it was really hard and it was exhausting, I'm 100% still recovering from all that. And so I feel very kind of burnt out, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed that. I'm not posting very much here on YouTube. I'm keeping up with my Patreon because I feel like that's very important, but YouTube has taken a backseat 100%. And there's a part of me that's really sad because, you know, I've always I always take pride in the fact that I am good at being consistent. I show up when I need to show up, and that's just my personality. But this was beyond me, I think. So I did flop on YouTube last year, and then I really haven't been very consistent again this year. And I want to get better at that. And so I feel like if I put it out there to you, then it kind of makes me feel like we've had a conversation about it and you're going to hold me accountable, and I don't want to let you down. So I'm here trying to talk about this and being vulnerable. The crazy thing about this is not how I was going to actually make this video. I wasn't going to talk most of the way through this video. I was just going to throw music to it and do my normal thing and pop in here and there and talk about what I was doing. But at this point, you all know what I'm doing. I use ballpoint pen and watercolor, and that's that, right? So I'm trying to open up more, which is, again, quite difficult for me. I don't think most people in my life that are in my everyday life would even... They would be shocked that I have a YouTube channel. I don't tell them because I'm very I'm introverted, but I'm also very private. Anyway, why I was talking about vulnerability is because that's the card I pulled today. If you don't follow me on Instagram, most days I post a stories of kind of like a journaling prompt that I'm using in the morning, and or like I pull an oracle card or sometimes a tarot card, and I use these as tools for my journaling, just to go deeper with trying to figure out who I am and what I like and all that kind of stuff. And so they're journaling prompts. And for me today, I'm using the it's not Forest. It is Phases in Forest Oracle deck by Kat Riles. If you don't know her, that's crazy because I talk about her all the time, but she's amazing. She is one of my favorite artists. She has a YouTube channel. She has an Instagram. Anyway, she created this deck, and I received it. I backed her on Kickstarter, and it's an oracle deck, but it also has journaling prompts on the cards. So today's card was how can you find strength through being vulnerable? And I think it's quite easy. You find strength through being vulnerable. Well, this is what I think. Because you're connecting with people, and when you connect with people, there's strength in numbers there, right? And one of my hardest tasks to get over is to talk about the hard things, right? Talk about the things that you've gone through. So anyway, when I pulled that card today, I just thought maybe I should do something different with this video. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm sharing with you stuff that I normally wouldn't share, or stuff that I would only share on Patreon. Like, my Patreon people have known this since it began. But I was just, it's hard. It's hard to talk about. And I'm even 8 months out, and it's still hard to deal with. So, kind of going back to what I was talking about is I was burnt out, and I really want to be able to come back and share like I used to, just in more of a fun way, not so to have the desire to share. Maybe that's it. There's a part of me that thinks, because I've been doing this for so long probably, that I'm boring, that I do the same thing. I don't try different materials. I don't do art hauls. I don't do that. Because I use the same materials, because I am doing the same things, I feel like it's quite boring on my channel. And the way to get people to stick around is to give them more, right? So I don't want to change up my art. That would be giving you more. So I have to give more details of my daily life, right? Or something like that. And that's difficult for me because that's being vulnerable and that's opening up, and I am not good at that. So, but like I said, I want to get back to the place of wanting to share, being excited to share, filming the video to share because you want other people to see kind of what's going on. And one thing that I am super passionate about is using what you have and getting really good at the things that you love, not hopping around just because you see someone else doing it and they are doing it really well. You probably, for the most part, have tried many, many things. If you look around your desk, your art studio, whatever, your basket that you keep, you have a lot of stuff. Utilize that stuff. My kids talk to me all the time about when they're watching me paint or whatever, and they're like, "Gosh, you are just so good, Mom. How are you so good?" Well, it's easy. It's because I practice. I just continue to draw and continue to use these same things, and because I continue to do that, I get better at those same things, So, I don't know. I'm really passionate about that. I'm also really passionate about sticking with something. You decided on a planner, and this is probably not the best opinion to have, but this is the other side of the coin. If you decided on a planner, you stick with it for the year. I feel like a lot of times people jump planners because it's not working for them, but ultimately the planner is just a piece of paper, and you can create and maneuver things to work pretty easily. I mean, size is hard, right? Like if it's too big to carry, like that's understandable. But like if you use what you have and you stick with it and you figure it out, I feel like at that point you are more versatile and you can get by with pretty much anything because you stuck with it, you know? So I think moving forward, I am just going to be doing the same old, which, I mean, I don't mean for that to sound boring. I laugh because when I say it out loud, it's like, oh, yeah, she's doing ballpoint pen and watercolor. But that's my passion, and that's what I love, and that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to share. And then also when it comes to sketchbooks and journals and all that stuff, like I choose one and I use it for the rest of the year. And I encourage you to do the same thing. This year, moving into 2025, I'm using what I have. I have so many blank notebooks, and it's nothing for me to print off a calendar and tape it in or draw one in. It's not that big of a deal. It takes maybe a day, and then I'm good to go for like the year, you know? So I encourage you to do the same. Use what you have. See what you have in your drawer that just, you know, you saved, and use it. Use the pretty notebooks. Somehow we just need to flip this narrative that consistency is not boring. Or maybe this is just my narrative. Somehow I need to flip my own narrative of consistency is not boring, and using what you have is really cool, and practicing your craft, even if it's just watercolor and ballpoint pen, is amazing, and everyone wants to see it. Everyone. So I encourage you to get out your supplies and sketch with me. These next few videos I have planned are a bunch of sketching, and I'm really excited to share them with you. I'm pulling them from Patreon. And just kind of like redoing them a bit. They're long and they're tutorial-y on Patreon, and so I'm pulling them over and making them more like a sketchbook with music kind of thing, paint with me over here. And so I'm going to encourage you to get out your sketchbook and sketch with me. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but it's going to be a lot of sketching videos. If you don't know, on Patreon, what I do is I have 4 tiers. The first tier is it's called Seeds, and it's a tier just for like a weekly update, and you get a discount code in my shop, and kind of like a behind the scenes. It's a post or a video a week, and pretty simple. And then my next tier up is the Roots tier, and that is a video a month, and that's normally a tutorial. And it's normally a tutorial based on what the Leaves tier is doing. So the Leaves tier is the next tier up, and that actually is all about sketchbooking. So we pick a theme of the month. We have 2 study posts and 1 Zoom meetup. And so that Roots video kind of ties in with that. And then the last tier is the Flowers tier, and that is a sticker and postcard every month delivered to your door. So if you haven't checked out Patreon, you should do that. And if you're interested in this print or a sticker of this illustration, head on over to my website. The last thing that I wanted to share with you is a new addition to our family. Meet Miss Ivy. She is a ragdoll kitten, and we've had her for a couple months now. She's really, really playful, and she loves to see whatever I am doing. She's typing with me at the keyboard. She's biting my pen when I'm drawing. She is around, so you will be seeing her. Probably way more than Bernie. Bernie is still going strong. He is not so much a cuddle kitty and more into my husband than me, but he does show love, see? And we are enjoying this new addition. Anyway, I just wanted to thank you all for being here, and I hope you had a lovely time catching up with me as I did with you. And until next time, everyone, I'll see ya.